For our FIPT 105 group project, our group decided to choose the Cherry Road Townhouse Fire in Washington, D.C. Here's some background on the fire. On May 30th, 1999, firefighters responded to a box alarm at a townhouse fire. Initial reports told firefighters that it was a house fire. However, the fire had started in the basement, and firefighters were unaware of this. Conditions in the house began to deteriorate rapidly. The lack of communication ultimately led to the death of 2 firefighters and another 2 firefighters who were severely injured. This fire set precedent for following of standard operating procedures, incident commanders receiving command aids, firefighters using personal alert safety systems, and many other procedures in place to ensure similar incidents do not occur. Many lessons can be learned from this tragedy, and many changes were put forth to ensure another fire similar to this one won't occur again. Here's a slide on poor situational awareness. There were many examples within this incident that showed how poor situational awareness affected this tragedy. One concrete example is the lack of communication between incident command and firefighters on the attack. Firefighters told incident command they were on the first floor, however, they were in fact in the basement. Firefighters who arrived on scene were unaware that the fire was growing from the basement. A delayed alarm resulted in a delay of rescue for multiple firefighters trapped inside the building. A lack of knowledge where firefighter personnel were inside of the building only further delayed rescue efforts. The incident command failed to set up a command post and was not accompanied by an aide, so assessing the front and rear of the building was very difficult. Here's our slide on inappropriate ventilation. The patio door providing access to the basement at the rear acted as an inlet, giving the fire more air. The front door and windows on the first floor, open for ventilation, served as exhaust openings and provided a flow path for the fire to travel when the things in the basement quickly turned into a fully developed fire. On this side here, we have some notes about the ventilation within inside the building. The occupant opened the second floor windows on side C. The occupant also left the front door open as they exited. Tactical ventilation of the first floor window on side A and opening of the sliding glass door in the basement on side C. You can see the sides later on in our presentation on the floor plan. The open door in the basement stairwell and open stairwell between floors 1 and 2 also influence the ventilation profile. Here's a chart also on the bottom left of the time of change and venting efforts. Here's our slide on poor awareness for firefighters. As previously stated, a lack of knowledge on firefighter locations and whereabouts delayed rescue efforts. 21 total minutes had passed from the time 2 firefighters were severely burned to the time they had been evacuated from the building. Firefighters failed to travel as a team, and when firefighters became missing, they failed to signal a mayday alarm. No initial scene size above the rear made it difficult to gauge the severity of this fire. These examples, plus many more, all led to the ultimate tragedy that was the Cherry Townhouse Fire. These procedures all had a fix and a correct way to operate them, and had these issues been resolved, 2 firefighters may not have passed on May 30th, 1999. Below this is a picture of a memorial of the Cherry Road Townhouse Fire. Here's our slide on failure of building components. The first level floor was plywood supported by lightweight parallel cord wood trusses. These wood trusses are strong and support heavy weight load, however they are proven to fail quickly under fire conditions. This design causes a substantial interstitial void space between the ceiling and the floor, which allows for heat and gases to move quickly through them. The first level kitchen window was barred on the outside, so complete ventilation on the window could not be performed until firefighter personnel were cleared the window from the inside of the structure. The fire originated in an electrical junction box attached to a fluorescent light fixture on the basement ceiling. You could also see the fire origin on our floor plan later on in the presentation. Here are some environmental and weather factors. The temperature outside was approximately 66 degrees Fahrenheit, winds were moving south to southwest at 5 to 10 miles per hour, and weather was mostly clear with no precipitation. Here are some environmental factors for the fire. The walls and ceilings on the first floor were covered with gypsum board, also known as sheetrock, and the floor was carpeted. A double glazed sliding glass door protected by a metal security bar, similar to that in the basement. The female occupant noticed smoke coming from the floor vents on floor 2. There was also observed smoke blowing across Bladensburg Road. Engine 26 entry was delayed due to a breathing apparatus facepiece malfunction. The officer of Truck 4 did not provide a sizer report to command regarding conditions on Side C. It is important to note that engineered lightweight floor support systems such as parallel cord wood trusses do not provide reliable warning of impending failure. Due to their path of travel around Side B of the building, Engine 17 did not have a clear view of Side A. Here are adverse and unusual chemical reactions within the building. Upon opening basement and first floor sliding doors as well as first floor windows, oxygen was added to superheated gases. Flashover in the basement occurred as a result of this. Here's a diagram on the right showing the flow path of oxygen being added to the superheated gases, which ultimately led to flashover. Cooler, more oxygenated air on the first floor was quickly replaced with heat rising up from the basement via the stairwell, which led to a high velocity of thermal gases making a run up the basement stairwell. Here's our slide on combustible gases. The basement of the townhouse showed severe fire damage from floor to ceiling, indicating a flashover occurred. Thermal decomposition in the basement led to the release of flammable gases within the space. With the opening of a sliding door on the basement level, oxygen was added to the superheated gases, causing them to ignite, causing a rapid transition to a fully developed fire. The movement and temperature of the hot gas from the basement up the stairwell and in the living room made operations in this area impossible. Here's our floor plan. So as you can see, Side C of the first floor, which was referred to as a second floor in some slides, you can see hose paths, the stairwell where flashover occurred, and then on the right side is the basement level where you could also see a hose path, Side C, and then the fire origin, along with the stairs where flashover occurred. Here's our reference slide. Thank you for listening.